What do you eat during intermittent fasting? Is it better to fast 12 or 16 hours? Is intermittent fasting good for weight loss? Does intermittent fasting work for belly fat? What are the basic rules of intermittent fasting? What do you eat during intermittent fasting? Is it better to fast 12 or 16 hours? Is intermittent fasting good for weight loss? Does intermittent fasting work for belly fat? What are the basic rules of intermittent fasting? What is a good schedule for intermittent fasting? How many days a week should I do 16/8 intermittent fasting? How do you schedule a fast? What is the best intermittent fasting schedule for weight loss? What is the best time to do 16/8 intermittent fasting? Is 12 hours between meals considered intermittent fasting? What is intermittent fasting meal plan? What should your first meal be when intermittent fasting? Do you still eat 3 meals when intermittent fasting? How many meals do you eat on 16/8 fast? What should my first meal be when intermittent fasting? What foods do you eat on intermittent fasting? Is fasting for 20 hours good? How much weight can you lose in a month on intermittent fasting? What should I eat after a 20-hour fast? How long before you see results from intermittent fasting? How much weight can you lose in a month with intermittent fasting? How long before I see results from intermittent fasting? How much weight can you lose in 4 weeks with intermittent fasting? How much weight will I lose if I intermittent fast? Can you do 16/8 fasting every day? Which is the best intermittent fasting for weight loss? Does the 16/8 fasting method work? What should we eat during intermittent fasting? How much weight can you lose in a week with intermittent fasting? Is intermittent fasting good for weight loss? Which intermittent fasting is best for weight loss? What do you eat on keto fasting days? How often should you do intermittent fasting on keto? What can I eat on intermittent fasting and keto? How much weight can I lose in a month with keto and intermittent fasting? Is it okay to intermittent fast while on keto? How long should you intermittent fast on keto? How much weight can you lose in a week with keto and intermittent fasting? How can I increase my growth hormone fast? What happens when growth hormone increases? Which foods stimulate growth hormone? Does intermittent fasting affect growth? How long do you need to fast to increase growth hormone? Does fasting promote growth hormone? Why does growth hormone increase during fasting? Will intermittent fasting increase growth hormone? Does fasting for 24 hours increase HGH? How should a beginner start fasting? What are the rules for intermittent fasting? How many hours do I need to fast for intermittent fasting? How long should beginners do intermittent fasting? How should a beginner start intermittent fasting? What is the best way to use intermittent fasting? What intermittent fasting is best for weight loss? Is a 24-hour fast good for weight loss? How long should you intermittent fast for weight loss? Can I lose weight by fasting for a week? Will you lose weight by intermittent fasting? How much weight can you use intermittent fasting? How long should I intermittent fast for my weight? How much weight can you lose with low carb and intermittent fasting? Does intermittent fasting and low carb work? Does low carb make fasting easier? What are the low carbohydrate foods? Can I do low carb and intermittent fasting? How much weight can I lose with intermittent fasting and low carb? How many carbs should you eat when intermittent fasting? Does low carb make fasting easier? How often should you do 16/8 intermittent fasting? How often should you fast for 24 hours? Is 14 hours enough for intermittent fasting? What happens when you do intermittent fasting every day? Is intermittent fasting daily healthy? Do you lose weight every day on intermittent fasting? How many days in a week should you intermittent fast? Does warrior diet really work? What is the warrior diet intermittent fasting? Does the warrior diet work for weight loss? What should I eat on the warrior diet? Is warrior diet intermittent fasting? How fast can you lose weight on the warrior diet? What time should I eat on the warrior diet? How long do you fast on the warrior diet? Intermittent fasting. Intermittent fasting schedule. Intermittent fasting for women. Intermittent fasting benefits. Intermittent fasting for weight loss. Intermittent fasting August 16th. Intermittent fasting app. Intermittent fasting hours. Intermittent fasting results. Intermittent fasting schedule for women. Schedule intermittent fasting. Schedule intermittent fasting clock. Program intermittent fasting. Schedule for intermittent fasting August 16th. Intermittent fasting schedule for beginners. Time schedule for intermittent fasting. Intermittent fasting schedule with workout. Intermittent fasting schedule keto. Intermittent fasting schedule most effective. What should my intermittent fasting schedule be? Meal plan intermittent fasting. Meal plan intermittent fasting August 16th. Meal ideas intermittent fasting. Meal plan for intermittent fasting June 18th. Meal plan for intermittent fasting 24th. Keto meal plan intermittent fasting. Meal plan for intermittent fasting October 14th. Sample meal plan intermittent fasting. Vegetarian meal plan intermittent fasting. Indian meal plan intermittent fasting. Before and after intermittent fasting. Before and after intermittent fasting pictures. Before and after intermittent fasting Reddit. Before and after intermittent fasting photos. Skin before and after intermittent fasting. What not to eat after intermittent fasting. What to eat before and after intermittent fasting. How long before results with intermittent fasting. Can you do intermittent fasting and low carb at the same time? When to take supplements while intermittent fasting. Diet intermittent fasting. Diet intermittent fasting meal plan. Diet intermittent fasting Malaysia. Diet intermittent fasting Adela. Diet intermittent fasting Kara. Diet intermittent fasting Turuan Baraba KG. Diet intermittent fasting Berksan. Diet intermittent fasting Najida Slavina. Diet intermittent fasting Lisa Suruhani. What not to eat while intermittent fasting. Keto intermittent fasting. Keto intermittent fasting meal plan. Keto intermittent fasting results. Keto intermittent fasting meal plan free. Keto intermittent fasting and exercise. Keto intermittent fasting schedule. Keto intermittent fasting before and after. Keto intermittent fasting diarrhea. Keto intermittent fasting plan. Keto intermittent fasting app. Growth hormone intermittent fasting. Human growth hormone intermittent fasting. Intermittent fasting growth hormone 16 hours. Intermittent fasting growth hormone study. Intermittent fasting growth hormone Reddit. Intermittent fasting growth hormone by. Intermittent fasting growth hormone PubMed. Intermittent fasting growth hormone levels. Does intermittent fasting cause growth hormone? Does fasting increase growth hormone? Guide intermittent fasting. Guide to intermittent fasting PDF. Guide to intermittent fasting Reddit. Guide to intermittent fasting August 16th. Guide to intermittent fasting Jason Fung. Guide to intermittent fasting book. Guide to intermittent fasting Fung. Nice guidelines intermittent fasting. Guide to start intermittent fasting. Beginner's guide to intermittent fasting PDF. Weight intermittent fasting. Weight loss intermittent fasting. Gaining weight intermittent fasting. Weight Watchers intermittent fasting. Weight loss intermittent fasting results. Gaining weight intermittent fasting Reddit. Lose weight intermittent fasting August 16th. Weight plateau intermittent fasting. Weight training intermittent fasting. Weight fluctuation intermittent fasting. Low carb intermittent fasting. Low carb intermittent fasting meal plan. Low carb intermittent fasting results. Low carb intermittent fasting food list. Low carb intermittent fasting plan. Low carb intermittent fasting 16/8. Low carb intermittent fasting app. Low carb intermittent fasting recipes. Low carb intermittent fasting August 16th results. Low carb intermittent fasting meal plan free. Daily intermittent fasting. Daily intermittent fasting benefits. Daily intermittent fasting results. Daily intermittent fasting August 16th. Daily intermittent fasting pros and cons. Daily intermittent fasting 24ths. Daily intermittent fasting meal plan. Daily intermittent fasting June 18th. Everyday intermittent fasting. Daily connoisseur intermittent fasting. Warrior diet intermittent fasting. Warrior diet versus intermittent fasting. The Warrior Diet Intermittent Fasting PDF. Intermittent Fasting Warrior Diet explained. How to do intermittent fasting warrior diet. What is the warrior diet fasting? Intermittent fasting warrior diet plan. Schedule. Meal plan. Before and after. Diet. Keto. Growth hormone. Guide. Weight. Low carb. Daily. Warrior diet. Insulin. Transformation. Food. 7-day. Sample. Alternate day. Bulletproof. 16-hour. 1,200 calorie. Skin. Losing weight. Result. Autophagy. PDF. Clock. 24-hour. Breakfast. Workout. Muscle. Meal. Lose weight. Low carb diet. Hour. Keto diet. Fasting meal plan PDF. OMAD diet. Ketogenic diet. Hour fast. Fasting challenge. Diet chart. Meal planner. Fasting times. Plan. Menu. Warrior. Kara. Butte. Vegan. Melakukin. Fast. Untuck. Fasting keto diet. Day fasting challenge. Meal prep. Keto meal. Recipe. Keto intermittent. Plan PDF. Month. Fasting success. YouTube. Loss intermittent. Intermediate fasting. Hour fasting. Fasting weight. Calorie deficit. 30-day. Diet plan. Rapid. Weekly. Easy. Time. Body. PCOS. Meaning. Program. Average. Long. Calories. Intermediate fasting schedule. Fasting plan. Ketosis. Reddit. 60-day. Strength training. Timeline. Free meal. Ripped. Eating. Paleo. High protein. Study. Coffee. Ketone levels. Keto recipes. Fasting schedule. Fasting ketosis. Glucose. Weight loss. Hormone levels. Benefits. Muscle mass. During fasting. Printable. 1 week. Exercise. Fasting meal plan. Ultimate guide. Diet plans. Weight Watchers. Lose.